Call in with any questions for the MoneyWise Guys at 842-KERN. That's 842-5376. Now, back to the show.
Yep. Welcome back. It's Getting Down to Business Friday on the MoneyWise program. I'm Gary Owella, sitting here with Paul Anderson, as well as Chris Pelster and Sue Watson, owner of Business Initiatives. We have great guests joining us today. Joseph Semprevivo, author of Madness, Miracles, Millions, Accomplishing the American Dream Against All Odds. Also, he's the CEO and founder of Joseph Lite Cookies. And I know, Sue Watson's in the house, and she's the owner of Business Initiatives, and her whole business is designed to go to companies and offer programs to help organizations and maintain a positive cash flow, accelerate profitable growth, and provide an environment or ask questions with the employees and employers for optimizing people and relationships. And I know she's itching to get down to business, because it is a Getting Down to Business Friday show. So I'm going to throw it over to Sue, because I know you're itching. You have your hand not only in the air, you have it way in the air.
I know I do. I'm waving here. Joseph, I have so many questions for you. One question that I have for you is, it sounds like this business literally started in your kitchen at home when your mom and dad were designing cookies that you could eat. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
Okay, but then you went to, now you're I don't want to put the number on the air, but you're a pretty significant size in business right now. How did you do that without getting in your own way? Most of us we just get in our own way when we're growing our businesses like you have.
That's a fantastic question, and that's like the million-dollar question. They say a lot of entrepreneurs can never really run their business. They have to hire outside people because they're so emotional about their business, and they kind of get in their way and trip over themselves. But one of the things we did, it was just a very basic rolling out strategy, and I owe it all to my mom and my dad. My dad's very practical, very logical. And, he said, son, you don't want to dream. You want to dream for the moon and the stars and stuff, but you don't want to jump right to that position, because you're going to make a lot of errors and you're going to ultimately fail that way. Yeah. You take it incrementally. You grow incrementally. And that's what we did. We started off in a little town of Deming, and we went to the 3 local stores there, got our cookies in there, then went to the next town, Las Cruces, 45 miles away, 50 miles away. Did the same thing, opened up 10, 15, 20 stores. So we kept it in control. We were able to roll out slowly. Keep in mind, at the same time, my parents had a restaurant. So the income kind of was offset, with the expenditures that were going into the cookies. It was offset by having some income from the restaurant.
So this was a secondary business initially then? Secondary business initially?
Excuse me?
This was your second business initially then? It was financially supported by the other business?
Yes. What happened is we had the restaurant then we moved into the ice cream business, which I did for 3 years. We exited that business because you're responsible for all ice cream that goes in the freezers. So if the freezers break down, you throw away your ice cream, which I happen to throw away 1,500 pints as a 14-year-old boy, and replaced it, and then 2 days later the system went down again in the grocery store, had to throw them away, and that was really the precipice. That's what made me go to my parents and say, hey, can you make me a sugar-free cookie? And then they did. So at that point, right when we exited the restaurant business and started focusing on the cookies about 3 months into the cookie business. So for the first 3 months, we were able to have some revenue from the restaurant and the sale of the restaurant, and then we were able to go from there.
That's great. What was your biggest challenge getting this business off the ground? What was the biggest challenge that you had to face?
The biggest challenge is, back then, a lot of people didn't know anything about diabetes. So when we went to grocery store buyers, they were saying, well, is diabetes contagious? Can non-diabetics eat the cookie? Because is there medicine? There was a back and forth thing. It was an educational thing. We were not only going in to educate about our product, but we were educating about diabetes, which turned out to be fantastic, to teach people about diabetes at the same time about our product line. And so that was probably one of the biggest challenges out there, was to get people educated about diabetes as well as our product line.
Now, when you first start in business, I've had business ideas before, and then I procrastinated and maybe started a little bit, but and then competition jumps on board. were you at fear of other people getting your idea and doing the same thing you are, or because you guys were so hardworking, like you said, you went from store to store to city to city to state, and like Sue mentioned, brought that out, is that's what created your company, and eventually you got into more big stores like Whole Foods and maybe even Kroger's and QVC. Obviously sold a lot of your cookies, but were you ever at fear of competition?
Absolutely, and I think every single day, if you keep your eye on the ball, you should be afraid of competition, because that's what makes your products and your services better on a daily basis. The minute you become complacent, you lose everything. So I don't believe in complacency. I think any entrepreneur can always attest to there's always a little bit of paranoia in their personality, and they always have to kind of worry what's coming down the pipeline. But if you bottle it up and keep it positive and use that to your energy to constantly drive you to do better things and offer better services, you always come out on top.
Well, just listen to you talk. You have such a passion, and you've created a business that's extremely, extremely successful. And I'll throw out the number; it's about $100 million a year, from what I understand. Might even be more than that. But you now span approximately 140,000 domestic stores in 42 countries, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this show have had a Joseph Lite cookie. But now, what is your passion? Besides, this is a MoneyWise program. We've talked about the politics. We've talked about the conservative nature of the economy and the liberal nature of the economy, and we try to stay more balanced. So I don't want to bring any political picture into it. But are you on a route to possibly run for office one day?
You never know. It's whatever's meant to be is meant to be. I'm very passionate about politics. I'm very passionate about our economy, about our country, about business. I'm very passionate about helping other entrepreneurs get started. I volunteer my services to coach and mentor other starting up businesses and fledgling companies and stuff like that. So I'm passionate about a whole bunch of things. It's wherever I'm supposed to be, I'll be. I don't have some master game plan like I'm going to run for this office at this time. I have ran in the past. When I was like 26, I ran for state representative in New Mexico, and I lost by less than 1%. And so it was a fantastic learning experience.
So you got beat down, so you're never going to do it again? Is that it?
Yeah. Why run for office when you're the cookie king, right?
When the time is right, I guess. Whenever it's meant to be.
No, but I do want to congratulate you on all the awards, that not only you've won, but your family has won from your hard work. And it's just a great, it's an American business story that I think everybody should hear about. And I'm so happy you joined us on the MoneyWise program today. And, for you and your dad to write the book, Madness, Miracles, and Millions, I do encourage, everybody, if you want inspired, to listen to that story and pick up the book. And Sue, do you have any more questions?
I do. I have a last question for you. How many cookies are you making these days, Joseph?
Great question. We make 12 million cookies a day.
A day?
A day. Yeah.
These are not just for diabetics, right? These are for people like me who are always trying to watch our calories.
Absolutely. I mean, they're Weight Watcher, 4 cookies, amazing. 2 points. They're for anybody who just wants a great cookies and a great cookie. And they're in places like Dollar Tree and Big Lots, and so they're a great value as well, because I know you guys love money. So it's really in saving money and things like that. It's a great value.
That's got to be a really big oven.
Yeah.
Monstrous oven.
Your company did receive the prestigious American Success Award, and it was obviously issued out by President George Bush at the White House Rose Gardens to you and your family. We congratulate you on that, as well as the American Taste Award, Superior Product Award, and the list goes on. You guys deserve it. From the struggles that you faced earlier on, from the age of 9 of diabetes, recognizing it, wanting a cookie made that's sugar-free, and here you make 12 million cookies a day. Congratulations to you and your family, and it has been a joy and a privilege and an honor to have you on the MoneyWise program today, and we got to have you back on just to continue this conversation, just to make sure we just want to make sure your business is doing okay.
Well, Garo, Paul, Chris, Sue, I really appreciate you having me on, and thank you for spreading the word and pro-entrepreneur like spirit.
I'm going to go and buy your book this weekend.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go buy your cookies.
Well, I got a copy in my hand, so you can borrow mine as well.
And the book's called Madness, Miracles, and Millions. I'm looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. All right,
so
Joseph.
Much.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you. We're the MoneyWise guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more news du jour, as well as getting down to business with probably I do want to talk. What was the last thing I wanted to talk about? I want to talk about growing trends of 2013. We're the MoneyWise guys. Be right back.